Breaking news for Fever fans. Caitlin Clark has confirmed she's gearing up for her comeback, moving from rehab to the final ramp-up phase that leads back to the floor. There's no official return date yet, but team updates, insider notes, and the practice plan now point in one direction. The return is on. The question is no longer if, but when. Clark has dealt with a right groin setback and on August 7th, a bone bruise in her left ankle from solo work, two issues that forced the Fever to hold the line without their star. Tonight, we break down the status, the timeline, the playoff stakes, and what her return really means for the WNBA. Clark's 2025 season shifted from dominance to durability. The right groin injury on July 15th pulled her from action and stalled the Fever's surge. Then came the August 7th left ankle bone bruise, extending uncertainty. Head coach Stephanie White has been clear, no timeline until Clark is back in full practice. That's the key threshold. Reports this week described progress, but also caution. The organization wants Clark healthy for the stretch run, not just present. Remember, the Fever still have a lane to the postseason. The calculus is simple: return too soon and risk longer-term damage, or wait a beat and arrive ready for playoff tempo. We'll show you what return ready looks like inside a WNBA practice week. Indiana's problem wasn't just losing Clark. The Fever were hit by a guard depth crisis. Ari McDonald, foot, Sydney Colson, ACL, and Sophie Cunningham, MCL, all suffered season-ending injuries in early August. That forced emergency signings and minutes redistribution, while opponent scouting reports loaded up on Kelsey Mitchell. This is why Clark's return prep matters so much. It isn't about spotlight, it's about functional guard rotation, ball pressure relief, and spacing. With Clark back, Mitchell regains cleaner touches, rollers find daylight, and Indiana's assist-to-turnover profile normalizes. It's the difference between surviving possessions and dictating them. The team's message: hold the line, help is coming, once practice sign-off is met. Reuters. Wikipedia. Each non-update made the noise louder. National shows debated Clark's timeline. Some urged caution, others demanded urgency. Coach White repeated the standard: no return before full practice participation. That became the only reliable indicator. Meanwhile, social chatter spun dates, and a widely shared note suggested late August windows, but the organization never confirmed a game. In short, progress is real, but speculation is not policy. As we speak, the Fever are balancing health, playoff math, and public pressure. The only green light that matters is internal: medical clearance, practice workloads, then minutes ramp. That's how a comeback is truly confirmed in pro basketball. Even with Clark sidelined, we saw the scale of the Clark effect. The WNBA just set a regular season attendance record, 2.43 million, with the Fever leading the league at over 300,000 fans across 18 home dates. TV momentum remains strong across network windows. That's context for why this return matters beyond the Fever. When Clark plays, viewership spikes, sponsors lean in, and national windows feel like appointment television. But the league's surge also shows a broader fan base that has stayed engaged, a foundation that Clark's return can ignite again. Expect broadcast build-ups, ticket demand bumps, and a narrative pivot the day she's cleared. The last time Clark returned from an absence, June 14th versus the New York Liberty, she erupted: 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 7 threes, and the Fever handed an unbeaten Liberty their first loss. It wasn't hype, it was shot-making under pressure, NBA range threes, late clock reads, and momentum plays that flipped the arena. LeBron James posted on X, the CC effect. Welcome back. You were missed. That's the standard fans remember. Can she hit that level again after a groin and ankle reset? The answer depends on practice response, not will or skill. If the ramp holds, the shot profile returns, and so does the gravity that warps defenses. Groins demand caution, bone bruises demand patience. The Fever's line is consistent: no return before practice, which protects two things: 1, Clark's long-term availability, and 2, the team's ability to stage a sustainable push. Rehab moves from isometrics to controlled court work, then full-speed 5-on-5. Only after that do coaches set a minutes plan and a load management profile for early games. Fans see this as delay. Medical staff see it as proof of readiness. Clark has cleared stages before. This time, the checkpoint is the same: full practice participation, next day response, then game activation. Until those boxes are checked, close is still no-go. When Clark returns, expect structured minutes, early two-guard actions with Kelsey Mitchell, and simplified looks to rebuild rhythm, drag screens in early offense, Spain pick and rolls to force low-man decisions, and flare to slip wrinkles that punish top blocks. With hardship guards cycling in, the Fever's task is keeping familiar reads for Clark, pistol entries, 77 drags, and ghost screens with a pop threat. The goal is predictable reads, not predictable plays, an important difference. Indiana's turnover profile should settle as Clark's live dribble pressure returns. The effect isn't only points, it's decision-making that reduces empty trips. Expect a quick trigger on timeouts to manage loads and cover any rhythm dips during the first week. As of this week, the Fever sit in 6th with a home-and-home versus the first-place Lynx looming. That's the league's best test of readiness, if Clark clears practice. The playoff gap is thin. Indiana had just 2 games on 9th place at last check. That's why the timing is so delicate. Rush and risk, or wait and sharpen. A strong week flips tone around the team's ceiling. A stumble, and the bubble tightens. Either way, the Fever's defensive rating must hold while the offense recalibrates. Clark's gravity reorganizes matchups and rotations, exactly what you want in a standing sprint. Clark's return is not just a basketball trigger, it's an economic and cultural catalyst. With the league's attendance record already set, a comeback before playoffs powers ratings, merch, and affiliate ticketing. For partners, this is a platform moment, national windows, crossover storylines, and viral highlights that travel. For the WNBA, the message is scale, a young superstar anchoring a sustained surge, not a one-week flash. For the Fever, it's the chance to convert attention into playoff equity. Every possession Clark plays is both a basketball data point and a media signal. The star is back, the race is on. Debate around Clark's absence got loud, sometimes reckless. Sophie Cunningham publicly defended Clark's injury reality and blasted hot take claims questioning her toughness. Her message was simple: elite players hate sitting. Nobody chooses rehab over the floor. Inside the Fever, that support matters. It reframes the story back to facts: a real groin injury, a real ankle bruise, and a real process. As the volume rises, the team is keeping the window closed until the practice standard is met. That's how you avoid narrative traps and keep the focus on readiness, not speculation. You've seen it: supposed target dates, circle games, and ticket spikes. One widely shared note even flagged late August. The Fever have not confirmed a game. What we do know: the club hopes Clark returns before the end of the regular season, if practice benchmarks are met. That's the difference between rumor and reality. Fans can watch 2 signals: reported full practice participation and the minutes plan that always follows. When those surface, activation is near. Until then, expect day-to-day language from the team, by design. Success won't just be a box score. It's response to minutes, no setbacks, and decision speed. Early on, watch these tells: 1 comfort on pull-up threes off high drag, 2 burst turning the corner on ice coverage, 3 repeatable escape dribble into pocket passes. Defenses will top lock and body check routes. Indiana must counter with ghosts and rescreens to keep Clark in space. If the first 2 games show stable loads and late-game execution, the Fever's playoff ceiling reopens, because the usage that used to strain the roster returns to normal distribution. That's the quiet math that changes outcomes. There's risk here. Groin tissue is fickle. Ankle bone bruises can nag with load. That's why the practice threshold exists. Return too soon and you risk the thing everyone fears: re-injury that steals the postseason and clouds 2026. Wait too long, and you shrink the runway for chemistry. The Fever are choosing the middle path: verified capacity over calendar pressure. When you hear she practiced fully, that's the sign the staff sees repeatable, next-day health. Only then do rotations and expectations reset. For Clark, the legacy play is not rushing. It's lasting through the games that decide seeds. So here's the bottom line. Clark has confirmed her comeback preparation is on. The ramp is real, and the Fever are aligning for clearance only after full practice. That's how you protect the player, the team, and the product. The standings are tight, the audience is massive, and the league is ready. Whether her first night back brings 32 and 7 threes or 12 quiet points, the effect is larger. Pace returns, spacing returns, belief returns. And if the ramp holds, The WNBA's most watched player steps into the stretch run with a shot to flip the East again. We'll be here the minute practice turns into a minutes plan, and a minutes plan turns into game on.